I am Amelia, a 30-year-old, married to Christopher for 10 incredible years. We've built a life together in a charming Boston suburb, complete with a cozy home, and our 8-year-old son John, who's the center of our universe. But beneath the surface, I've always felt a restless itch for adventure, a yearning I couldn't quite put my finger on. From the outside, our marriage looked picture perfect, but the truth was, it had become a comfortable routine. Christopher's work hours crept longer, and he'd come home drained, his mind preoccupied. The little things that once brought us joy, surprise dinners, spontaneous laughter, and whispered secrets, fell by the wayside. I felt like I was losing him, like he was taking our love for granted. Our conversations devolved into empty small talk, the passion and spark that once ignited our connection reduced to a faint flicker. I couldn't help but wonder, was this all there was? Was this really the life I wanted? As a beautiful woman with expressive curves, I always took care of myself. On the day everything changed, I wore a short skirt that showcased my slim body and a fitted blouse that accentuated my figure. Confident in my attractiveness, I noticed the admiring glances I received. Perhaps it was this that pushed me towards the changes that were about to happen. Christopher, a lawyer, frequently works late, leaving me to manage the home and care for John. Although John is bright, he has always struggled with history. After much deliberation, we decided to hire a tutor to help him improve his grades. And so, on one cool autumn day, Tom knocked on our door, a young, energetic man in his 32s. He looked like he stepped out of a fashion magazine cover. Blonde hair, deep blue eyes, and a confident smile made my heart race as I opened the door. "Hi, I'm Tom," he said, extending his hand. "I'm here to assist John with history." I greeted Tom, feeling a bit flustered. "Please come in." Tom's arrival filled the house with a unique feeling. We sat in the living room, and I showed him John's notebooks and textbooks. Tom listened attentively, nodding and asking questions that showed his genuine interest. We discussed lesson times, and our first session went well. Tom was a great instructor, patient and attentive, but I began to sense something more between us. During his visits, my attraction to Tom grew. Our chats turned personal, and I discovered his passion for history. He'd wanted to be an archaeologist, but life had different plans. We shared laughs over his past, and a connection began to form. One evening, after an especially tense day, I was sitting with a cup of tea when Tom approached me. "Tough day?" he asked, sitting down next to me. I acknowledged modestly, aware of his attention on me. "Sometimes, life can seem monotonous," I confessed. He offered reassurance, speaking gently. "Nevertheless, Amelia, you are excelling. Your son is truly remarkable, mostly due to your nurturing and affection." I beamed at his encouraging words. Our gazes locked, signaling a looming danger. Despite the awareness, I couldn't resist. Enveloped in a captivating enchantment, I moved closer to him, and our mouths met in a tender yet fiery kiss. A sudden bolt of lightning coursed through me during that kiss, rendering everything else insignificant. Sensing his warmth and vigor, I desired more. However, we both recognized the impropriety of our actions. "Amelia," he murmured, creating some distance between us. "This shouldn't be happening," he stated. I acknowledged, attempting to control the overwhelming sensations surging within me. Yet, the compulsion was undeniable. We exchanged unwavering gazes before Tom stood up to leave, assuring his return for the upcoming session. However, his eyes mirrored the same mixture of fear and longing I experienced. The path ahead was filled with tough choices and obstacles, but I was willing to go to any lengths to experience that magical kiss once more. It had been a few days since Tom and I had our first kiss, and the memory lingered vividly in my mind. Tension lingered in the house, and I felt how, with each of his visits, our gazes met more frequently and my heart beat faster. I tried to distract myself with household chores and taking care of John, but thoughts of that moment never left me. One day, when Christopher was at another business meeting, Tom came for a lesson with John. They worked in the living room, and I, as usual, sat in the kitchen, pretending to be busy with chores. But my attention was fixed on their voices, on John's laughter, and Tom's calm, confident words. When the lesson ended, John ran to his room to show Christopher his new knowledge. Tom approached me in the kitchen, his gaze serious and determined. "We need to talk, Amelia," he began, sitting down next to me. "I know," I replied, lowering my eyes. "It was wrong, but we both want this," he finished for me, taking my hand in his. His touch was warm and gentle, and I couldn't resist. We sat like that for a few moments, before he started love with me. He kissed was more passionate, deeper, and filled with desire. I felt his hands glide down to wrong side, pulling me closer. "Amelia, I can't stop thinking about you," he whispered, pulling away for a moment to look into my eyes. "I know this is wrong, but I can't stop it." "Me too," I replied, feeling my heart race. "I don't know what to do." We kissed again, and I felt his emotions started to flare up, causing waves of warmth and excitement. I couldn't resist my feelings, and we gradually moved to the living room. What happened then is impossible for me to describe. You can understand or feel. "You are beautiful," he whispered, looking at me with admiration. "I've dreamed of this since the moment I first saw you." I couldn't hold back my feelings. We both understood that this was wrong, but we couldn't stop. In his eyes, I saw the same desire that burned inside me. I couldn't believe this was happening to me, that I was ready to break all the rules for this moment. "Tom," I whispered, when he pulled away for a moment to look into my eyes. "We need to stop." "I know," he replied, his voice trembling with emotion. "But I can't. We love again, as if we were made for each other." I felt his touches become more confident, his breath quicken. At that moment, I realized I had completely lost control over myself. It was like an explosion of emotions that consumed me entirely. I felt every movement of his, every touch, as if it were the last time I could feel something like this.